Ever get that feeling where you bump into an idea and it just makes you pause? Like a whoa, okay, this is different kind of thing. That's where we're heading today.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
So, you sent over this piece. It's called The Soul's Breath, Energy of Life and Consciousness
Right.
by Mark Acknowledges King, K-I-K.
Yeah.
And it tackles something pretty big, the soul, but from a surprisingly down-to-earth angle.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, for ages, right, the soul has kind of been stuck up there with philosophy and religion.
Right,
It
yeah.
felt almost disconnected from daily life, But this piece tries to bridge that, to bring it down to something we all experience. Energy.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of this deep dive, to explore that link between the soul and, as the author puts it, the energy of life. What's really cool is how this idea, it goes beyond just us, beyond living things. It makes you think differently about even the tech we use every day. Get ready for some aha moments, folks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And because the soul has been debated for so long, I appreciate that Mark starts by laying out the different views. You've got that classic idea of the soul as this separate spiritual thing,
Right.
totally distinct from our bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's the more biological side,
Okay.
seeing it as tied to our consciousness or other bodily functions.
So already a bunch of different ideas out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then Mark jumps in with this other idea, the soul, as the energy of life, the actual driving force behind all living beings. It's a strong statement, taking it from this vague idea to something way more fundamental.
It is, and I think that's what caught my eye. It's
Okay.
a way to understand the soul, not as something out there, but something in us, something we can actually feel.
Right, because we all know what it means to have energy to feel tired, or that buzz of being really alive.
Exactly.
So he makes this far-out concept relatable, right?
Yeah.
And then he takes it further, bringing in this analogy with our gadgets.
Oh, right, right.
Our phones, laptops, all that stuff.
That's a good one.
Okay, so let's get into that. How does Mark connect the energy that powers our devices
Mm.
to the energy that keeps us going?
Well, he points out that energy is vital for anything to work. I mean, your phone's going to be charged, right?
Sure.
It's like the basic currency that lets it do all the cool things it does.
Yeah, I like that, the currency.
Without energy, it's just a hunk of metal and glass.
Totally.
And then he makes this point, we get all excited about our devices, the fancy features and design,
Yeah.
but we rarely think about the energy that makes it all happen.
It's true. We take it for granted. It's just there.
Right, it's just there. And that's his point about us.
Us. Okay, go on.
We focus on what we see, right? Our looks, skills, achievements, like those phone features.
Okay.
But maybe, just maybe, we're missing the energy of life that makes it all work in the first place.
So, like, we're not just our bodies, but this energy that's driving us.
Right. It's like he's saying, hey, pay attention to this. It's the foundation. And then he gets even more down to earth by linking this energy to something we do every single moment. Breathing.
Ah, right. That part was interesting. He says our breath can actually be seen as the soul,
Mm.
like the very essence of life,
Yeah.
which, when you think about it, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the first thing you check to see if someone's alive?
Their breath, exactly.
Exactly.
And what I like about this idea is that breath, it's not some abstract concept. It's real. You feel it. You hear it
It's happening constantly.
constantly. And the piece describes it as this flow of energy keeping us going.
So it's not some far-out spiritual thing,
Yeah.
but a bodily process that's also full of energy.
That's the idea.
I like that. It makes it feel less like a puzzle and more like something, well, something happening in our bodies right now.
Totally.
And from this breath as energy idea, he then moves on to talk about this internal energy within us.
Right. Because our body, they're like machines too, right? They need fuel. Like our devices need that electrical current. We need something to keep all our systems going.
And that comes from the oxygen we breathe.
Largely, yeah. It gets converted into the energy we need to move, think, even just exist.
Wow.
So it's the same principle, just different fuel. No energy, no device, no oxygen for us, no life.
It's a pretty direct comparison. Okay, so we've got this energy keeping us alive,
Yeah.
but Mark doesn't stop there. He says this soul energy, it's also the source of our vitality, like that inner spark we all have.
More than that, he says it shapes our personalities, our drives, our emotions. It's not just that we're alive, but who we are.
So all our quirks, our passions, our anxieties, it's all tied back to this energy.
That's the suggestion.
And here again, the tech analogy pops up.
Oh, right. Like different devices can run on the same power, but do completely different things.
Hmm.
So we're all powered by this energy of life, but it expresses itself in unique ways in our individual souls.
That makes sense. But I can already hear people pushing back, saying, hold on, the soul is spiritual, not just some energy field.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And Mark acknowledges that view,
Okay, good.
but then he brings in science.
Ooh, interesting.
He points out that science and tech are giving us new ways to understand our own energy systems.
And this is where that surprising fact you mentioned comes in, right?
Exactly. You ready for this?
Hit me with it.
Studies suggest our bodies actually generate electromagnetic fields.
What? Like we're emitting energy.
Kinda, yeah, like those fields around electronics.
Whoa, that's trippy.
Right. Suddenly, the line between biology and, well, something almost mystical gets kind of blurry.
I mean, if we're all giving off these vibes,
And then Mark adds, these fields are thought to be connected to our emotions and thoughts.
so our inner world, our feelings, they have this energy component too.
That's the link he's making. It's like taking something traditionally seen as purely spiritual and giving it a more scientific basis.
A whole new way to think about it, for sure.
And to add even more perspective, Mark also brings up ancient cultures.
Okay, yeah, he mentions those.
Because the idea of an energy body, or aura, it's not new. Tons of ancient traditions believed in it.
Right, they didn't have our fancy science, but they still saw this energy as key to who we are.
And the text says this energy body, it's thought to affect our whole being, body, mind, spirit.
A whole package.
Exactly. And they linked it to the soul, too. So it's this idea across time, across cultures, that there's this unseen energy shaping us.
Okay, so tying it all together, what we get from this deep dive into the soul's breath is this. The soul, often this vague spiritual thing, is deeply connected to energy, real tangible energy, not just keeping our bodies running, but maybe even being the core of our souls.
And I think that technology analogy, it's brilliant, right?
Yeah, it helps make it concrete.
Because our devices, they need that constant power source. It makes you think, what's our power source?
What are we plugging into to keep our souls energized?
Exactly. And I think that's Mark's message, to be more aware of this energy within us, to nurture it, to make sure our souls are thriving.
So as you go about your day, think about this.
Yeah.
How would your view of your own energy change if you saw it as connected to your soul? Would it impact how you rest, how you find activities that truly energize you, not just a quick coffee fix, but something deeper? It's a whole new way to look at ourselves and what keeps us going.
Definitely food for thought.
For sure.